very interesting start of the day with Bitcoin down at 69,000. Let's take a look at the market. So on the daily, we have this -3 standard deviation. Okay, and we can see that Bitcoin has come back to about this time last year's price. This 50% retrace of the high to the low for the last 2 years, and also this low from about a year ago. Um, that when we get something as high as a -3, which is the standard deviation from this blue line, the 50 moving average. Okay, here we go on the daily, and it's outside this area Watson lower. That's a really good value. And when you compare it to with the multi-time frame analysis perspective to a bigger time frame like the weekly, lets you see 2 years back, and you see it's at the 50 or the 618, that's a big discount. So it's 50% off this high to the low range. Um, that's fantastic. If we look at the TDI, and looks like it's forming, wow, it's pretty low. So this was a little failed shark fin, dumped again. That's great. That's a good buying opportunity from my perspective. Now, if you want to take a look at this, just go to smartmoneycharts.com. Okay, it's very easy to use. You can see lots of assets at once, right? You can start and you can check any asset you want, like Bitcoin. And you're going to get a multi-time frame perspective in a very lightweight, um, low memory usage application and in a web browser. And it's not going to slow down your PC. So you can see it's only taking 80 megabytes of RAM to look at Bitcoin in 3 time frames. And actually, this can do 5, even 6 time frames if you want, and give you signals across the bottom. And you can just click in here and you can add other assets. You can choose other time frames. And if you want to see a closes chart or a candles chart, or both for the different time frames, different indicators, it's a scanner. So you can actually see what is going on in the market very, very quickly by just scrolling a bunch of different assets. All right, and why would you want to do that? You can turn asset selection into your trading edge by making it very easy to review lots of assets in one view. And you can get these nice little helpful signals, summary signal. Right? Okay, so you can go to smartmoneycharts.com if you want and play around with it. It's free to use, and if you sign up, you get better charts, SVD charts. You get more time frames. You get more than the last few signals for the assets you care about. So here we have a whole bunch of assets that I want to just go over quickly. So QQQ, it's still up, right? You can see that on the 3-day chart, which is something TradingView would charge you for. You can get that free here. The dollar, right? It dumped all last week. Right here, you see that? Let's do a little zoom in. And it rebounded, right? Here was the TDI, formed the shark fins coming up. Now, how far is it going to bounce back up? Nobody could say. Maybe here, maybe a little more. But you've heard the buy low, sell high, discount zones, premium zones before. So you want to buy at a discount zone in Bitcoin. Well, in the last 2 years, it's come back to where it was here. You see that? So this is a very strong support area, typically. This kind of huge discount on that time range. The other thing that might give you a good, strong idea of a reversal is that it's at -3. You see that here on the daily? It's a -3 standard deviation, okay, from the 50 MA. That's usually when it reverses. You can see here, it had a nice reversal. It didn't go very far, and we just kind of meandered in this zone for months, but that was a strong pivot point, and it started with this -2.4 standard deviation from the 50. Now we're at a 3, so doesn't mean it will form a pivot point, but I'd expect it to. It's currently at a 3. And with a little more zoomed in detail here, this 2-hour close chart colored by momentum. You can see we started a bearish momentum here and just kept going, right? We had a 2.5 standard deviation from the 50 and bottomed out, made a reverse, and then we dumped again, and that's because the dollar pumped, you see. So a lot of this is going to be related to how much the dollar pumps if it goes down more, in my opinion. But you're outside of the daily, this dashed line here, this green dashed line, the daily, Area Watson. You've got this high negative standard deviation. It's probably going to come back, reverse. So 69,000 today, February 5th. There's Thursday morning. Getting close to the 78.6% off is what it means of this high to low range. It's a huge discount. Let's take a look at Solana, which is another one I love. It's an amazing price. I didn't think it would come down below 100, but it did, didn't it? $88. And again, you can see this very high Z-score on the daily. It's not common. It's uncommon for it to get that extremely far away from the 50. So this is an extreme move, right? It basically takes us back to the price around April of last year. And there was a few other lows here in 2024. So this is what you would call a discount zone. It could go down more. We can look and see why it might reverse. The only reason I would say would just be because it's correlated to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's at a -3 from the 50 MA on the daily. Another interesting one I just wanted to go over was MicroStrategy, MSTR. Okay, it's at a low from, wow, price range from 2 years ago. There you see that. That's where we are now. It's a proxy for Bitcoin, as you know. Michael Saylor, it's a ton of Bitcoin, and it's a stock you can trade. There's bullish div. That's value area. This was previously at a high of 450, right? Towards the end, like November of 2025. So a lot of gains to be made if things reverse. Tesla is kind of hanging out here around this high premium area. Let's see, Nvidia. AMD had a real dump starting to come into value. It's got a lot of bearish momentum. But you can see it's in this value area here, right? After that nasty dump yesterday. Wow. And you can see that this bearish divergence was a signal that came in on the TDI for AMD, and that was a signal to get out. It's something that you can very easily see with a scanner like my app, because you can have lots of these assets that you like selected. You can just select them right here, right? And you'll get your choice of all these different assets that you want to choose, and then you can reorder them and have fun. And it won't take up a lot of RAM. That's it. Not a ton. There's no way you could have this many charts open in TradingView. So this makes it easy to have a list of assets you like. You get signals across the bottom coming across. You could put it on a 4K TV or 4K monitor. This is my 2K laptop screen. And you can keep track of a lot of things, and whatever you're not looking at, you've got signals coming up in a ticker live across the bottom, signals you might be interested in. So gold, right, everybody knows, had to retrace. It got way up out of this Dario Watson band, right? We start getting these signals to get out. Okay, these are RSI-MA signals here coming in with these red down arrows. And then, yeah, let's see. They bailed on it, dumped, boom. Silver was a similar story. I think what's interesting is that gold came down to the 618 of this range for the last 30 days. Okay, and silver, a little more extreme. It came down in the last 30 days to the 786, 76% off of this range from pretty much the start of the year. That's makes it a value area, right? It was running away from this 50 MA where it took off and came back. So these are all just traders. So that makes, I'd say, silver a value area. If you're into silver, you can see this massive dump on the TDI for silver. So let's take a look at BNB, which I opened the short right around here. And the sucker, it's 50% off, more than that. I'm not the biggest fan of BNB, but people love it. SUI, $1. This is basically a 2-year discount zone area. Not a bad idea to scoop some up. I probably will. Aave, lending platform, one of the most well-known lending platforms in the crypto space. At 117, it's a pretty good deal. You can see we're at this low area here. Going back for 2 years, this is the discount zone, right? We're actually below the 786 for the last 2 years. And starting to get some indications that this is low, right? These big wick candles, stopping candles. You got a nice bull divergence going way far back. Probably a good time to consider. Okay, AVAX, wow, $9. Very similar story. I do like AVAX. And the PAX G Bitcoin, so that's a gold to Bitcoin ratio, right? You've got, yeah, it's overextended. So I was wondering if it was going to come back down here, but it ended up coming back to a previous high. The idea here would be that it's a really good time to start getting into Bitcoin because Bitcoin is undervalued relative to gold. That's what this ratio is of gold XG versus Bitcoin. So go to smartmoneycharts.com and hopefully you can get something out of it as well, like I do. It's really mostly for investors and swing traders to just be able to keep an eye on the assets that they like, right? Even on a mobile, on your PC, on a 4K smart TV browser, and you get real-time alerts. You're going to get a nice grid of assets and timeframes that you can scroll, right? You have some nice details in each chart, color-coded momentum, right? Reversal signals, standard deviation, pivot points. So drop a comment if you like it. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description, and click that free link. You can sign up or sign in here, and you're going to get access to more time frames, more charts, SVG charts. Okay, enjoy.